you could just see
Yeah.
his truth,
His
his JRP,
like
his truth.
his
and you
truths.
go, you could say it's fascinating.
Well, a lot of people really gravitate towards that and want to understand how that mind thinks.
Yeah, and people like serial killer documentaries and true crime thrillers. People like dolphin documentaries.
Yeah. There's a niche for everything.
Yeah.
And when you speak with confidence, right?
Yes,
When
and
you
he has that.
put the
That
word
was
out there, it's a big thing for humans, right?
It is. Confidence.
It is, but I think the downfall about Trump was because he was such an influential multi-billionaire. It had a lot of negative impacts onto leaders, CEOs that work right around the world. Because when you see someone as influential as him on those types of shows, they're like, well, if I'm more like him, if I have this,
Toupee.
if I have this āhuatanga, this type of attitude where I talk down at people and demand things, then I will get what I want. So other people, if you're a person and your dream is to become successful and be wealthy, then you're going to follow the top wealthy people in the world. And him being one of them and being on a platform, on a media platform showcased around the world, without a doubt that would have had a negative impact within organisations and the well-being on the people who work in them.
One of the big struggles with that, though, is that you don't see the people who see that in those clips and those little things in their bubble or filter may not be seeing the court cases where he's been fraudulent about all his money and is not actually that wealthy and has lied in order to get loans to be able to pay off and build bigger things. They won't see that side of it.
No.
They'll only see the bit that makes him look powerful.
Yes.
Well, just those bits.
Just don't always believe what you see on screen.
And me, all I see is the wind blowing and his hair pops up. And
it's
there are hours of videos on YouTube of just scenes of that happening with no comments, no
Lots of
words,
viral
just
reels.
watch his hair blowing in the wind.
That's something that in Aotearoa I don't see it often, which is these characters getting into politics, right? I don't know if it's something that New Zealand will pick up in the future, but like in Brazil, soccer players, ex-TV people, clowns, like because they attract votes, especially in a situation where the party needs votes. It's a big strategy to put those characters to get the population, because it becomes a bit of a sport. They actually don't care about what the person is saying. They just want that person that they relate to win. So that attracts a lot of votes. And I don't know, probably you know better, but I don't see that happening here. You don't see like a TV person getting into politics. Or it does happen in Aotearoa.
I don't know. I think in Aotearoa, politics is more or less something that you can buy.
Oh, please expound.
Expand. Well, we don't watch a lot of TV or media things or anything like that. And even though we do online social media stuff, we legit just push a button, we do our thing, and then we get back to our normal busy day-to-day lives and our generational obligations. But a snippet that did pop up online was the differences of each party and how much funds they were able to fundraise, or how much putia, how much money they had to be able to support their campaign. And so National and Labour, they always have a big one, but a lot of it comes from wealthy pockets. But Te Pāti Māori is the party that is always minimal when it runs off the people. So theirs is more or less going out and marketing for the people, and they're able to, I'm trying to find a nice...
It's more of a people movement, I guess, within that, and that is quite evident in the stand of unity for all those within, and it wasn't just because of Te Pāti Māori. It's got nothing to do with that.
No.
It's more so just about, it's a movement that's been forever going about embodying unity within those words of what our tupuna and the tupuna of that time, their ancestors had come together to create. So we're forever striving for that, and I guess within that political realm, it's not as easy for some parties, not just Māori Party, but even smaller parties, if you don't have a funding background behind you to help influence that, then it's quite limited.
If you've got money, you could buy seats.
I don't know much of the history of politics. It's not something I've followed.
Not.
It's like in terms of, is the Te Pāti Māori Party, have they been the Māori government representative party historically for 100 years, or is it like a?
I don't know much about politics.
Yeah, that's sort of what
just
I mean.
the
It's
little
idea of-
snippets that do pop up, and we're like, oh, interesting.
Because there are some parties that I look at their some of the minority groups and I'm going, oh, I don't want them to have more money. I don't like those ideas. Women should not have jobs and should be at home. And what? No. So I don't want them to have airtime.
Poor dads, they have to do all the work.
Unbelievable, eh? Yeah.
life.
We're in a day and age now where we're the working poor. If you're working a certain job where it pays you X amount of money, then you're still able to just get by. But those with jobs, your day-to-day supermarket jobs, checkout jobs, it's not enough income to be able to pay for rent, power, those types of things.
Yeah, it's a shame that the hustle becomes the norm.
It is.
You need the passive income.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird if you don't have a second income.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's a shame, isn't it? Because then it's our time. It's the time with whānau. It's the time with friends. Like Fabian was saying, oh, we were seeing each other all the time and now we don't see each other. Yeah, because we're working and we wanna, and we in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm working hard so I can have more time for my friends. But while thinking about that, my time is going. My time is disappearing. Like, it's still an investment. I like to believe that it is.
Investing, yes.
But what if I drop dead?
Yeah.
what
And
happens?
you wasted all this time.
Yeah. Which is still into good things, because I think I'm lucky that the jobs that I do, and especially this, the podcast and the magazine, like, they're amazing things. So it's nice to see the results. But as you're saying, nothing wrong with working in the supermarkets, but like, what are you getting from that? Like, does it fulfill you, or is just it gets the money at the end of the month and then that's it? So I feel like that's one of the biggest issues with this generation, that like, we are not appreciating all the little jobs and seeing everyone as important. Like,
They do.
who cares that you studied more and you can do that? Good on you. You're still supporting the community. If the guy is not picking up your rubbish, who cares how much you studied?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Hauraki Plains College yesterday put up a post on their Facebook page celebrating the school caretakers and cleaners, and just did a big celebration of them. They always work tirelessly every single day they're there, and they made a big celebration. So I talked about it on the radio today at CFM 95.1 and 94.0, and talked about and I simply put it out there.
Shout out,
something that
CFM.
gives me satisfaction. I mean, so who have you celebrated? Who are you going to celebrate today that's behind the scenes? Who's someone you don't necessarily think about when you're at a workplace or a business or a sports team? So thanks, Taylor, the man behind the scenes at Altbays here, and Caroline. Yeah.
It took 234 shows, to get some claps, bro.
Wow.
I do come from you, bro.
Well, there you go. And I'm sorry I didn't make you a beer tonight. I've let you down. Usually every time.
So one cool thing, I just want to go back a little bit. This is a great conversation, by the way. I just want to go back a little bit in something that you said. I just want to make sure that I get it right. Ancestral obligation.
Generational duties?
Generational obligation.
Generational obligation. Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that?
Okay, so within Te Ao Māori, and I guess any other cultures around,
all Indigenous cultures.
All Indigenous cultures. So we have, as one passes away, mate atu he tete kura, ka haere mai he tete kura. So that's a whakatauki. As one passes, a new one shall step up into that role. So during the times where a lot of our elders, they're ready to retire, and so then we're voted into these new generational obligation roles within Te Ao Māori. So all our whānau, it's all paid on aroha. It's our free time that we do outside of our day-to-day life, about running the marae, protecting the boundaries within your tribal boundaries, to work as one with the local government as well, to find ways to build within a tikanga space approach. And those vary. Every whānau from every tribe have different generational obligations that they fit into. So for mine, it's naturally just come about sitting on boards and being a face to be there and applying any skills I've learned from the outside world to help our iwi hapu grow, and for those as well to come back home. And that's generational obligations. So although you haven't chosen it, you're just born into it.
Yes. although I think it's amazing and beautiful and so necessary, do you think for some people that get into that role that they have to do it, can it be confronting for themselves, because it's a big responsibility, right?
Absolutely. So at times you will say you don't want to, but the people decide a lot of the time. So even in some of the roles I have declined, but it's up to the collective, and that's the whānau. So the whānau decide based on their skills, because we're all kumara, we're quite humble. We just sit there and we never talk about our strengths. And so it's up to the collective to decide what are our strengths and if we'd be suitable for this role. And so that's how it usually works.
That must be a very humbling experience, being in a room, people looking at you going, so what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Where do you fit in the family going on? Or what can we help? Is there a role earlier on? What can we help you work on so that you can be better suited to more roles later?
And I think it's more, so within, and this is me making assumptions because this is how it's like at ours, is that with our kaumātua, our ruruhi, our koroheke, which refers to our older people, they're quite observant. They know the different skills and attributes that each person within the hapu, the whānau, have. So if you're a young person and you naturally have a gift of oratory at speaking, then you would be groomed to be a speaker on the marae. If you're a person who's great at singing, then you'd naturally be one of the main leads for the kapahaka group. But if you're a hands-on person who likes to be out in the outdoorsy in the dirt, then you'd most likely go along with the group who dig the graves, the grave diggers. If you're a cook and you love cooking and food, then you'd be in the kitchen of the marae, in the wharekai, preparing. If your skill set is communicating and being able to talk with people, then your role might be in the dining area, helping, supporting with setting up the food, greeting people. So everyone has a space on the marae. For my sister and I, it's karanga. So we're really good at being able to tuku our karanga because we've been trained from our aunties and our nannies at the art of karanga, which is opening up the portals, the spiritual portal for everybody to walk through safely onto the marae. So everyone has a space on the marae. Some people it just might be with a tea towel, others it might be just holding space and keeping our older people company.
Can I jump onto that question about the karanga? With the welcomes, are there composers for these that have, or are they the same historically that have been there for so many years that they tell a story through the whakapapa, like the welcome is embodied, or if something changes or a group changes or moves to a new location, do you evolve them in subtle ways so that it's not what you would have heard 50 years ago, but it's very similar? Is there an evolving system of that?
It does. It forever evolves, and it's up to the person, the individual. So when we do the art of karanga for my sister and I, it's we say the words that come to our forefront, and we speak from our hearts and from the energy within. And we always tailor our karanga to suit whatever the kaupapa is, whatever the cause is. So karanga can also be looked at as a form of manifestation, intention, and it's all about the intention when you do the karanga. And when you see it and you hear it, it's about vibrational frequencies, and it hits tones within the person and sets them.
It's always so striking. For me, I'm doing that categorizing thing in my head going, it's real-time composition, almost freestyle. You're reading it in the moment.
You are. There is a certain structure that you do get given. Like for us, we got taught the basic structure, but as you build up your confidence and your fluency within the art of karanga, then you're able to start interweaving it. And being fluent in Te Reo Māori is a core thing, to be able to interweave those words and having a good understanding. But being mindful that every marae, hapu, iwi, every whānau, they have their own differences as well. And so where we're from, it's two-tone.
Yeah.
Because it's the karanga of our nannies that goes back generations.
That's something that never changes in a karanga. So when it's
for us,
it's all the way, well, for our whānau, yes, it's always been there since the origination of our whānau being here in Aotearoa, even before. And so it's a frequency. So the frequency of our great-great-great-great-grandmothers is two-tone. And so that is the tone of the frequency that we carry, and the words are shaped around the kaupapa or the event that is happening. And we always prepare ourselves mentally first to make sure, okay, we know what kaupapa we're going into. And if we know the tribal area as well, we have to make sure that we know, okay, what is the name of this whenua and who are the people that we're here, so we can acknowledge that within our karanga. We always make sure we acknowledge the land. And
It's pretty much giving thanks.
thanks to everything,
In a
just
frequency way.
gratitude.
Considering what's happening now, we were talking about that in the car, not a protest,
No,
but a
not at all.
stand.
Stand
A
of unity.
stand of
Stand
unity.
of unity.
Yes.
Which is a beautiful way of saying. Thank you for correcting me. Is that a fear? Is that a sort of like, because it's traditional and it in my view, of course we gotta be there and stand up for what we think is right. But like some things you can't eliminate. You know, you can try as hard as you can. You're just gonna make it stronger. So good luck trying. But like, is that a fear or something that has to be protected at a higher level when it comes to a government that is playing a different game from what we would expect coming to the culture of a country that is so rich?
I guess there is no fear. I think from us, for me and Te-Taima, that was our first time ever standing. We've never been in any environment where you have to walk down.
You have to protest.
Yeah, we've never, we don't protest. So because this was a stand, we actually stood. And it was great for us to have the opportunity to actually write banners. We had no idea. So we're about, poetic justice. How can we do this in a form to show our unity and support for the treaty and unity of all four corners connecting as one here, to protect that, just to protect the unity. And it was just a great experience to be able to stand and have our children help us make little banners just to say, we're all here together. And there was no feeling of fear. It was a sense of pride, especially because we understand the full concept of te tiriti. So once you go through that and you understand, because there's a lot of deepness within it as to why did it come about, and a lot of cultures who understand it all know about it and stood to protect that, because it's a document that unites all of us. It's like it's a peace treaty. That is what it is. And to all stand as one and have our children a part of it, it gave us a feeling of liberation. It was liberating. It was a feeling that never felt before, but just it's like being proud but liberated at the same time, and it was really beautiful.
Yeah.
I see as an opportunity to actually teach more people.
Yes.
Like when something weird happens, you want to find out and fight for the right cause and have knowledge about it. You just don't want to go and say, hey, you want to find out. So what you're saying, and we had Vaughn, Winiata and Brandon Amo last week, and they were saying that like, if more Kiwis, if even Māori, if more Māori knew what the treaty is, this conversation wouldn't be happening.
No.
It wouldn't be a thing. But people are not aware of it. People don't understand the document. So it becomes this shallow conversation.
Yeah.
How do we do that though? How do we, is it an educational system thing? How do we implement more knowledge of the history of the country to people? How do we do that?
I suppose.
I guess there's so many different levels. I guess if you're going from a governmental level, you're more like Ranginui, so you're raining that knowledge all over everyone if you're in the power to do so. But if you can't get to that cloud to actually rain all that knowledge down for everyone freely, it's more so of a movement that needs to be intrinsically imprinted in people to actually want to go and seek it. If you seek it, then you shall find. Because within the history of Aotearoa, we know that with Te Reo Māori, it was first taken away within schools. So our grandparents were not allowed to speak it. And so now it's almost as if Aotearoa New Zealand has gone full circle, and now we're back to where our grandparents were, unfortunately. But that's only if you look at it from that perspective. So if we're able to twist that right round to a peace treaty of unity and actually see,
But you're right, Leo, it's about building understanding, because not a lot of people have a lot of knowledge around it, even though they can easily access it at the touch of a finger on Google. But it is.
We were talking just before the show. Sorry, the time I'm going to jump on there. We were talking before the show about all the time I was a teacher and the professional development, wanting to genuinely engage, wanting the confidence for me as a Pākehā man, wanting to have enough knowledge and the confidence to be able to actually say I know what I'm on about, but it never really happened for me. I never had the professional development. The support network was never really in place that I could stand in so many different contexts, not just while I'm at work for those hours and then go away. It wasn't intrinsic in society. It wasn't everywhere at the supermarket. It wasn't at every pub, or if I ever played a gig somewhere, I wasn't welcomed onto the gig site in any way. There was no recognition. It was, oh, you set up over there type thing. Although please continue to provide me with gigs and opportunities. But I know as a teacher, you sort of felt lost because you didn't want to be, and we talked before, you didn't want to be tokenistic. And we talked about white spaces. What's a white space? Oh, I'll just add a few koru patterns here and kia ora, kia ora, kia ora, kia ora. Yeah, I'm totally nailing it. I never felt I had that confidence or the enough learning over enough time. And we asked for it as teachers at all 3 schools I was at over my career as a teacher. We asked weekly, monthly, like, can we have more? Can we have more? And we couldn't keep putting it on those 1 or 2 people at school that had that knowledge, because they have their family, they have their own lives, and their roles are not to teach all of the teachers 24/7.
Definitely.
So that idea of how does it work intrinsically from the government, yes, I think it really does have to come through. But maybe, was it too slow, the drip?
Possibly. Well, now that it's introduced within mainstream schooling, so the Aotearoa curriculum is now going to put a new light and new lens on those education workers. And I do know that at Rangiriri there in the Waikato, they're doing a lot of PLD for all our local teachers in those spaces within the Waikato. And although a lot of PLD has been going through there to educate them about Waikato Te Ao Māori, just from one lens, and then they're able to take it back to their classrooms and then bring the students through to educate. But yeah, PLD is life, and I'm hoping that there'll be more of that now that it's in the curriculum.
And we'd love to have more of that in the Coromandel. So shout out, if anyone in the Coromandel has the time, the inclination, Ngāti Hei, I'd love to have Ngāti Hei in the classroom when I was a teacher. I'd love to every week at the very least, and then every 2 days in a week, and then 3 days a week, and then we can become that as well. We can take on a role of educating others. I'd love the snowball effect to happen.
Absolutely.
And some funding would help, right?
Yes.
It seems to come back to money.
Funding helps.
Unfortunately.
It
goes back to money.
It does,
yeah.
but it's a koha atu, koha mai. So even though they're giving the money, it's an investment for them, and it will be given back.
And I think on another level too, there is a way where people can start activating their own communities and saying, you know what, guys, we've got all these resources out there. We've got Te Wānanga o Aotearoa that offer free Te Reo Māori me ona tikanga programs that are free with beautiful resources. But it's about people activating their communities and showing them that there are ways around it. You can jump online right now and learn basic phrases, just like that. You could have a 1-hour car trip somewhere and you could learn an entire speech just like that. We've got access to everything at the touch of a button. So it's about how do we activate, how do we move away from relying on government systems and relying on other people to give it to us or give money for it when actually we don't need that. We've got everything we need right at the touch of a button.
Blessed.
It's about activating and mobilising people to take action and start learning and saying, you know what, you've been here for a long time. How do you not know basic structures? Do you know how to say hello or goodbye? You know.
Yes.
See, you know, because you're a teacher. But this is, you know, like I know if I was in Australia, I'd want to know I would want to have a basic understanding of the indigenous culture there, anywhere you go within the world. To know the land, know the people, know the history, because it's so rich and so beautiful.
It's one of those things that if you do travel overseas, they're the most beautiful things. You know, you go and see, oh, this is what this place was like 500 years ago. Wow. You know, it's not a structure like we see, it's not a building, it's not an office block. It's the real deal.
does.
Was te reo something that it was part of your life from day one? Was it like bilingual?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Definitely.
As children, and then for a bit there when we got to primary school age, we always had basic te reo around us, but our mother wasn't a fluent speaker, but our father was a fluent speaker. We were lucky to have a childhood where we were always taken back home to the marae. We were always exposed to
Our
Te Ao
nannies,
Māori.
everything, within Te Ao Māori.
When it comes to, because what happens is we have the shows here, and I feel like we're privileged to have such a strong Māori presence on our shows. It's just happening organically. That's the coolest thing. So we get to do the clips. So Taylor is the head of the thing, the editor, but then I work on the subtitles. And it's my mission. I do my best to get all the Māori words right. And I spend time doing that because I don't want to mess it up, you know? So I do. And I'm like, I might as well learn the language. I'm already on my fourth, I can say, you know? I'm like, I might as well give it a go and try. So structure-wise, for a beginner, are we going far from English, from like structures of verbs and how things... No, it's about Leo.
Wow.
Sorry, excuse me. I just want to get some insights on that. Because I feel like that's one of the things that people don't understand. You go for words, which is very helpful, but when you understand grammar as a whole, it really facilitates learning languages. That's how I picked up a bit easily, like I understand grammar. And then does Māori have a similar structure to English?
Yes, it does. So usually you can tell the context of the conversation based on the first few. So if it's kei te haere aho ki te toa, kei te is the tense. So you start with the tense, and kei te will mean that it's the current. And then we work on who it is and then the location, where to. So kei te haere, I'm going, aho, me, to the shop. So I'm going to the shop, but it's all tense-wise. It's different because our strength is in English, mainstream English all through schooling. And our te reo Māori is just bits and pieces with our kaumātua back at home. So going into learning te reo Māori is so easy. It really is. And the tenses with the grammar, it makes it easy. So it's always just location, person, and the tense. And less is more. The alphabet is very small.
Less is more.
Because it can be very overwhelming. It can
Don't
be
be
so
fancy.
overwhelming learning te reo Māori, because we always grew up with just the basic level of te reo Māori. It wasn't until we were older where we got to learn it at a more fluent level, because we grew up predominantly with our English-speaking mana wahine solo mother.
What's the term for the borrowed words, where words are really, really similar to the English and they've...
Transliterated.
Oh my
gosh, that's my
word.
favourite.
The transliterated words.
Transliterations.
Those save you. They really save you, especially if you have a whole Māori speech and then you've like missed one word and you're like, what am I going to say? So you transliterate it. So you take out any letters that are not a part of the te reo alphabet, and you just mix it in there. So our Uncle Tukino Turu from Taumaranui, Taranaki, he likes to use for broom. He'll say, when we were learning, because it's a safe space, so broom can be pruma, yellow, yaro, flannel, frano.
North, nota.
North, nota. And you'll actually hear some people, when you hear them, you'll know the transliterated words.
It's my favourite
From
type
me.
of reo Māori. It's so simple. Less is more.
Less is more.
Less is more.
In life.
We were talking about education before, and I got to hear a lovely story of Pūkoro Miranda, which I'd always called Miranda. And I didn't know that a couple of years ago it went back to its original name as Pūkoro, where the ship Miranda came in through the Firth of Thames and parked there and just shot and massacred marae villages, just shot them down, and then came through and was part of their war tactics and scoping out the land to stop a supply chain.
Yeah.
I'd never heard any of the story. And so now when I read the weather, some people have noticed, they said, oh, you've added in like more syllables for one of the towns. I'm like, yeah, it's Pūkoro Miranda. It's 13 degrees in Pūkoro Miranda.
I love that.
I love that.
It's
Shout
one,
out.
one,
You
say
one,
it so well.
and it's one little change, but hey, little snowball.
It makes a big difference, and just you using those little bits of kupu.
But then it was interesting to learn that because, I've been to Miranda for years and I'd known it as Miranda, and there's a place where I go and stay and have hot water baths and it's lovely. But now this is a whole history I didn't know about. So now it's changed it when I go there. I'm looking around trying to find signs or trying to find where those things might have happened. Where would it have come up? And some of these historical sites are actually noted down that there are parking areas and walkways with arrows pointing direction. So that little bit of history has changed Miranda to Pukora Miranda. That's where I now go on those holidays. That one little bit of learning changed my holiday. Do we need more of those? Do we need to send people on holiday more often? Hey, we're going to send you on holiday. We're going to send you on holiday here. But first, here's a brochure. You got to learn the original story. Yeah, I'm happy to send you on holiday.
That'd be great. Yeah, we have a cool piece on Coral Mines written by Catherine Delahunty, who was Greens MP for years, that she explains the origin of Coromandel, which is pretty bloody as well, which is not the greatest story, and explaining the importance of using hauraki, because there's this thing of like, oh, Coromandel, Koro, like, do you actually know why you're saying? And I feel like that's powerful. It's not to shame people. If you don't know, you're just ignorant, and it's not a bad thing. You just don't know yet, but like, be aware of where it comes from. So what you're doing, you're educating people, educating yourself, and by default you educate your listeners, and
it shows unity too.
A cool thing I've started learning, because I do the weather, and I do the weather many times a day.
Now I'm thinking of weather people.
Because it changes all the time.
It changes all the time, but then I would never be able to sit there and go, it's 13 degrees in Thames and 15 degrees in Coromandel Town endlessly. I couldn't do it. So I have the map and I'd zoom in and I name all these tiny little townships. There might only be 5 houses or a couple of road signs, but I'm learning the geography. Yeah, someone said, oh, I went on a little holiday, up past Miranda that time, and I went, oh, in Whakatiwai. It's like, that's what it's called. I was like, how do you know that? I was like, I read the weather. I read the weather. Yes. I'm looking at this map. I know this map so well now.
Well done.
Well done,
especially with your pronunciation.
Love that. Yeah. Oh, nailed it.
Well, I grew up in the 90s at high school, so I had, Fire Doak was our teacher for 6 years. I would have had her at Marion School, and then I teachers through high school. Yeah. I think they did a pretty good job, at least on the pronunciation side of it. I learned more Cook Island Māori when I was there as an adult, and I think that perhaps you're just surrounded so much more by the culture because there is no escaping it. There is no city. There is, you're there.
Just normalised.
And they're our tuakana, so Rarotonga is exactly the same. It's just a faster, they speak it faster, but we can speak Māori as Rarotonga, an adaptation.
It's all similar.
It is quite cool.
Quite similar, yeah.
Afi, can you tell me a little bit more about the work that you were doing before with the trenches? Like what that story is about and what were your role?
So a few months back when I was supporting the kaupapa, and we're forever supporting that. We work in that space. Forever. I guess that's more so like a generational obligation, always giving back to our people. So within that space, it's just supporting, educating younger school children about the local area and about what happened in 1863 when the proclamation went out, and that's post Te Tiriti, about the invasion of Waikato. So some people call it the New Zealand Wars, but it was an invasion where a lot of mana whenua and people there at the time were there just standing to protect what they've always known, their natural way of life. And so I guess the thirst for more land meant that they needed to come more into the Waikato. So it's about teaching that to all cultures within the school system and staff as well about what has taken place there. And at the moment they have Te Oko and Ngāwai Honoi Te Pō, who's also princess of the Kingitanga as well. And they hold a lot of space there and run that. So it's been a dream that Brad had done a while back, Brad Āotearoa. So shout out to our whānau at Rangiriri, Ngāti Naho. Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
And that's Honey's
Honey
Right.
Drew.
Honey Drew.
It's a
Shout
family
out.
business. So shout out to
fan of
Honey.
Honey.
We love him, but we've never
We've never
actually
met him?
Met him in
What?
life.
I know.
We're gonna bring you all together on Altbays. That's
Yeah.
our
Never
mission.
met him.
Yeah,
Let's
I
do
want to
it.
see if he's finished his study because he was doing a lot of work.
Yeah. A lot of work. That's right. Oh, how cool! You
I was on that show with
co-hosted
him.
that one, and now you're here. Yay!
Wairua. Yeah.
Nice, right? So big job, big responsibility.
Yes, it's very big, and you have to be in 2 spaces at once. So it's very real, and it's a very it's a place of ayo and a place of gratitude and remembrance. So you always remember because over there there's a lot of people that passed away from there and were taken as prisoners, and that's nothing new to us as tātou te iwi Māori. And here in New Zealand, this is very everybody knows in the Waikato, I guess, and it's about educating people and giving them understanding to it, because once we understand, we can then all heal and think about how can we move forward as a people.
Is it, how do you call it, tapu?
Very tapu.
Very tapu.
Very tapu. So you have to be, you have to have whakapapa links in, but they also do a wairua check on you. So it's a very tikanga based
Approach to
everything, because it is a real historical pa where people were unfortunately had to pass on. Annihilated. That is the word they use.
Annihilated.
Right.
Yeah, it was an annihilation.
So Āwhina's saying it in a very nice and
very
fluffy
nice,
way.
fluffy way.
And so you can see that she's trying to find the right words
Find
to
the
say
words.
without
Works
it
with
being...
kids. When you work with kids, you
Yes,
gotta find
absolutely.
the words.
Fluffy
You have
words.
to be mindful, because you don't want to make it a traumatic event, even though that's what it was. But you just have to be mindful of the different age groups. So I guess if we've got adults more, then you're more... You tailor it to that. But if it's for the children, they just get the tour, and it's more in depth for the teachers. The magic that Brad Totorewa does there with any organisation. If you were to go there, I guarantee you book your PLD, you will not be disappointed. It is just, it's a wider space.
We should start with bringing him here, and then we go there, and then a follow up there. Eh?
Absolutely.
You have to go
Can you
visit.
hook me up with the contact?
Yes.
You have to go visit
Good.
there. It's
Yes.
it's transformational, the PLD tours, but it's also a beautiful space of healing. But it really helps to bring everything into perspective when we talk about the treaty. Yeah, it really brings.
If you want to
everything
know,
into
pretty
perspective.
much if you want to know anything about tātou te iwi Māori, Māori people, and why some of the things are the way they are, especially in the area of Hauraki Waikato, which also goes back to Pūkorokoro. Okay, so it's all connected. All of it is connected. And so now we're able to bring that through to schools so that us as a nation can move forward. I guess it's always gone full circle, and because it was silenced and never put into mainstream schooling, it's always just kind of sat there.
But we always learnt about America and Africa. And
It's mainstream
all
school.
those
We
other
learn about
spaces.
every other culture except for our own.
not Māori, not Aotearoa.
I guess that's why so many foreigners and so many people who are not from Aotearoa support the cause, and they're all in, because they get
And
to...
they get it.
Yeah, they get it. They understand all the cultures as well, because usually that's what happens, right?
Can I jump on that for you, Leo? Because the Brazilian indigenous population are 0. What?
It's ridiculous. Yeah, zero. Like I always say, these stats, like they might be a bit outdated, but
Yeah.
probably they got even worse.
Yeah,
0.
0 point something.
0.14. Yeah.
0.14. But then you have probably witnessed, or your parents, grandparents have been a part of the complete and utter annihilation of the indigenous Brazilian people, and they basically had they were destroyed. The Portuguese basically took over everything, bred them out, land them out. So when you come here and there's hope, that's
man,
better. Because you make it work. Come on, yes, so is that sort of what you mean? You're bringing in that.
Even
you see it.
Even when I went back in July, I went back to Brazil after 8 years.
Yay.
I realized how much I knew. Because I'm always as the learner, the one listening here. I put my head down, I listen, and absorb. But then I realized how much I could share with my friends. And then I also noticed how little it is the influence. We have words, you know, like food that you're lucky if you learned in school that it was an indigenous origin, that word. Like, so a lot of the names of the places where we're from, Cangaíba, the one where I'm from, Tiquatira, you know, like places, I just like the accent. Then you find out, oh, those were indigenous names. But like, that's it. There's like the Indigenous Day, which is a bit weird, you know, like a lot of cultural appropriation.
Worldwide.
But there's no acknowledgement. There's no cultural thing that holds that country together. You really have to, like nowadays, of course, with the internet and social media doing a beautiful job in bringing knowledge when you want to find knowledge. There's a massive amount of people fighting for that, but they relate to what? To Australia, to the Aboriginal cause, to New Zealand, to Aotearoa, to the Māori cause. You know, like, so that's why I'm like, oh, for us, I know that comparison can be a problem, but I always tell my Māori friends, I'm like, man, carry on, you know, like it's good, you know, what you're doing compared to a lot of other countries. It's massive. Like, it gives strength to those people to fight for what they believe, for what they are. Because
I suppose it validates what they don't want. It validates the opposite. You do not want to go to a country that has 0.14 of any acknowledgement or time or resource or money. You want... I love New Zealand.
Yeah, because what happens is we end up having a massive African influence, which is beautiful. But why? Because of slavery. You know? You know what I mean? It's not even a great thing. You know, it is beautiful because it's African Latin influence that made us who we are. But where is the indigenous? Imagine that. Imagine if it was African, Latin, and indigenous. And unfortunately, it's not, you know. So bringing that, doing that in the countries. And that's why sometimes being small, it's cool because you can do more work. That's why community is so important. When people say, oh, Coral Mind is growing, Altbays is growing. I'm like, yeah, because it's coming from a tiny space and people pay attention to that because then there's more community work going on. So I feel like Aotearoa has this power, you know, and I really hope that it keeps happening because the world is looking at it. You know, it's not, like, people are paying attention, man. People are paying attention. You should all still go to Brazil, that's for sure. You'll love it. It's fun. Do those Facebook, those trying the foods in Brazil. You would love it.
We can't wait.
That's the dream.
It's on our bucket list. Yeah, we're manifesting that.
Can you flipping a little bit and going to a different place? Then we come back to this. So for the people who don't know, a big part of your channel, you do songs and things in Te Reo, which is amazing. But the kai.
Yes.
It's a love language.
I know, because you have to see the channel, then you understand why it was big. I was talking to Taylor this afternoon, I'm like, man, there's a lot of videos of them eating. How do they know? We should do the same. So big part of your life, I guess, right? And talking about it and acknowledging that cultural aspect to it, right?
Yes, because it's more than just a meal for us. So within Te Ao Māori, when you have a pōwhiri, so when you go anywhere, your tapu, and then you notice at the end of a pōwhiri, I'm not sure if you've been to one yet, but at the end of it, you eat food. So the food is what makes you noa. It makes you, how would I say an English word for that, sister?
It's normal.
Normal.
Brings you out of...
So it brings you out of a different space. So that is what food does.
Settles the vibrations.
It settles the vibrational energy, and it's just, it's a whole nother language. Food it's a love language. It's soul food. And then we're able to apply just our natural, authentic selves around blessings. So within our culture, we always give thanks to all the taiao, the environment, the ocean, and everything. Thanking every element that has given us this beautiful, delicious meal, so we can all be in that frequency and just share in it. And it's also one of our other side jobs, we would like to say we are professional food reviewers with a mid-eye palate.
Manifest. Say it again.
Our dream.
Say it again.
We are food reviewers. We're professional food reviewers with a mid-eye palate. So we come from a cultural lens where mid-eye food, we know all of that. So we're more so like the two twins stepping out from the mid-eye, going into the big world, trying all these foods that are not traditionally cooked on our pa. And our dream is to travel the world and visit every other Indigenous culture to see what it's like to eat and have cup of tea with the locals, with the Indigenous.
It is a goal.
Yeah.
Can I give a recommendation of a restaurant you need to go to?
Yes.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. There's a restaurant in Auckland called Masu by Nick Watt, and it's a Japanese restaurant. I do not like raw fish. It's just the way I am. My wife loves raw fish. So we go there sort of as a special event, and yet...
Special for her.
Well, and because she's with me. And yet,
Yes.
when I go there, I can't help but eat it because the whole environment, I'm watching the chefs prepare everything from start to finish, and they make me excited about wanting to taste how they did that. And this is probably the only place I can sit there and eat tuna and salmon and all these different types of fish I don't know and prepared in all sorts of odd ways. It's the one place I go where I feel like I can eat that. Yeah, Kaimawana, that's that Japanese restaurant for me. There you go. So if you're
Write that
listening
one
from
down.
Masu and you want some professional reviewers to come in,
Yes.
We're there. We've got you.
validate.
We'll be there. Yes.
Has it got to that point that people get in touch and shout your
yes.
food and all? Yeah.
We do. We get
Yes.
invited to different restaurants, and all they do is feed us, and we jump on our platform, and we're able to bring in lots of customers for them. So it's
In the middle of
fantastic.
the meal, like you're in the restaurant on your phone.
In the restaurant, we just
We
set
set it
our
up.
phone up and we just press the red button and we just do our
We
karakia.
only do lives.
We only do lives. We're very, it's less is more for us. We don't want too much of the thinking. We just go naturally, organically, flow with it.
Why do you think Altbays is live
unfiltered.
streamed?
So you go.
Oh, it's live streamed.
You just go with
It's
it.
out there
You
in the
can't cut
world.
anything.
So leave it to the universe.
And the universe knows they don't like things edited. They just like the full uncut.
Raw, unfiltered.
Okay, no dropping names. Was that a meal that it was just like not what you were expecting and you kind of had to...
Oh, yes, no names, nothing. I swear. We've got some viral videos that have gone out. A lot of them with the ones that don't. We're honest food reviewers. I think that's why a lot of people
Right.
follow us. It's actually... And we don't know how it's happened. They just love to sit down and have... Some people eat their dinner while they're watching us eat our dinner, and they talk with us to do that. And all the other local businesses. So shout out to Lunch Bar 88. Kim runs it.
Yes, Kim.
She created some kina pies, kina savouries. And so we've never, we love kina from the ocean. We dive for our kaimoana, but to have that in a pie...
We're like, oh, yeah.
That was a new experience for us. So we're about those little pockets, but also supporting small local restaurants run by family businesses.
Check out Johnny's in Tairua. Johnny's in Tairua.
Johnny's?
They've done that as well. His wife makes kina pies.
Okay, we've got to go to Johnny's.
Johnny's.
Came to the show. Wait, did you do that one? That was Brad say. Oh, that was you.
No, I
and
was
Brad.
there,
I was
yes,
behind
I was
it.
there.
Yeah, that's right. Good man, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny and I had a few
Was
social
it nice
connections.
though? The
It
kina
was
pie?
delicious.
Yeah?
Delicious.
Kim makes the best pies
With the
in the
pastry,
Waikato.
the mix was foreign
Pastry
but good.
perfect.
It was great. It was perfect. It was creamy. I think it's an experience to be had because it's another adventure on the palate.
Do you mix your food reviews with a drink that's recommended, or are you sipping like water?
We
or how
sip
do you do
whatever
it?
we feel like sipping. It doesn't really matter. We don't think about it. One of our main things we do is we always have our knives and our forks. They mainly just sit on our plate for decoration because then people see us digging in with our hands. But we just like to be just ourselves because trying to be anything else is just really hard.
Just be authentic.
Yeah.
We got some cool comments. We have people watching us as usual, which is pretty cool. So I just want to give a shout out to the listeners, the people following Altbays. Make sure to follow Āwhina and Te-Taima. Facebook. It's Facebook is the main one for you, right?
Facebook's our main one.
Facebook. Yeah.
Facebook is the one. So we got some our friend Natikaho, aka Pan Badass. It's here, man. There are some cool comments. Shout out to Stan Walker for giving Te Reo a world stage. True, that was massive, eh?
Yes, shout out to Stan.
Might even run for the Oscar. Did you see that? Might be nominated for yeah, because it's for a film. The last big song that he
I Am
put
for
out.
Origins. Origins, yeah.
It's a beautiful way.
Good on you,
Beautiful.
Stan.
What else have we got?
Stan and I had the same singing teacher for a wee while, so it's my claim to fame.
Can imagine.
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was in a room I was in once.
Oh, that's bro. You got to bring him to Altbays. Stan, no my.
It's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Let's manifest. I think this is from something that we were talking before, but there's a question there. Do you have Maori forest schools in your area like Tututarakihe here in Kaitaia for the kids? Do you have Maori forest schools in your area?
Māori forest.
Yeah, I don't know if Maori forest schools.
I'm
Bad as
imagining
if
now
you
a
wanna-
hut in a forest.
Well, I think like we have
Like tutu. Do you know this one? Like Tututarakihe here in Kaitaia for the kids. So he's giving an example and asking about the area where we are. There are 3 kura kaupapa in Kaitaia. Shout out to Kaitaia.
Shout out to our whānau in Kaitaia.
Yo.
Naughty North.
Naughty North, the Nota.
that means north.
Hey.
North,
J-
north.
JT is watching us, a few people on Facebook as well. So thank you very much. How do you find the engagement on Facebook? Is it something that it's growing? It gets to a point that it stops sometimes and then it picks up again. How is that? Because we've been doing for a while now, right?
Yeah. So with our engagement, we never really fussed on whether or not we've got a small amount of people engaging or a lot of people engaging, because it's something that's just a hobby for us, and we kind of, all of our content is quite varied. It depends on what's happening in our lives, what's happening within society. So in terms of numbers, so I know a lot of people do things for likes and follows, but for us, we're about
We
quality.
don't do any of that.
We're about quality, not quantity. We're about authentic.
Yeah.
And consistency, right? Because you're very
Consistency.
consistent. You're always there putting something new, which is important.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they would, like, if we go off a time where we're not on there, we've got such a quality. So shout out to all our kings and
Yes,
queens.
kings and queens.
Ayo. Just shout out to all of them. So throughout this organic journey of manifestation, they've been there supporting us. So it's actually a reciprocal relationship that we have with our kings and queens. And during our times of when we lost our papa, they were all there to give us that uplifting wairua and sending us messages, praying for us to go through that healing journey, which is very new to us, losing a parent. So that was the first time we experienced that together. But having them behind us, the quality of it, our kings and queens wrapped the love and aroha around us like a korowai, and it's really helped us. So they help us, and I guess they just love us being our authentic selves, and it's a two-way relationship.
Everything, yeah. It's more or less, it's a community, it's a whānau. Our platform, that's how we like to see it, is that it's a whānau, it's a community, it's a collective, it's a supporting group, it's just a beautiful manifestation of Ayo.
And what is Te-Taima? Let's explain that.
So Ayo can be directly translated as peace or calmness, but for myself, I like to see it as a way of being. It's a frequency, a vibrational frequency, because it sets the tone. And a lot of that for me derives from Rose Pere. I'm not sure if you know of Rose Pere, but she always did a lot of her incantations, and they were all grounded, shaped around Ayo. She'd do this beautiful Ayo karanga, beautiful Ayo waiata, and it was through the vibrational frequency of her tone that could lift the wairua, and it could lift your spirit and just make you feel so at peace and so calm and confident within yourself, especially if you were feeling a bit uneasy or uncomfortable. But yeah, Ayo. So Ayo's a way of being for us. It's a way of unity. It's something that I wish the entire world would adopt. an ayo frequency.
And different cultures
And different
use the word.
cultures.
Yeah, different cultures use the sound, right? Yeah.
Ayo.
Yes. Yeah.
Ayo.
Ayo.
So it's a frequency of light that just transcends intrinsically and gets you through your darkest moments of life, within life, and it brings you back into the world of light.
None of that made any sense to me. But
come on.
I got the idea of being
Jeez.
peaceful and being good and calm, but I don't understand.
Yeah.
light
You
and-
know, when we talk
Yeah.
about vibrational energy and frequency,
Yeah, I get lost.
so when you hear,
He'll get there. He'll get there.
you know how you hear a newborn, but the newborn, when they're first born, they've got this high-pitched cry, but it taps something within you. Frequency. It's vibrational. Same
Definitely
thing.
is.
Ayo.
And so ayo is like a frequency like that.
But a calming one,
A
not like a
calming one.
baby where it's high tone and you're all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I've
You're
got to get
alert.
up, got to do the baby. It's a newborn cry. It's different to a 1-year-old cry, a toddler cry, or a child cry.
It's different when he cries.
Definitely is.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Frequencies.
Frequency, whole nother frequency.
For you working in the mental health space, do you have tools? Do you have things that support you to deal with situations? I guess it can get quite delicate sometimes, or now, or you separate things. How is the process of working in the mental health system?
For a lot of the workers within the mental health space that I'm in, it would be challenging at times for them, but I suppose for me, because I work behind the scenes, I'm the writer, do a lot of the document writing for the CE and for the board, so I don't.
Can
get
I jump on that
exposed to a
question?
lot of-
Can I jump on that? Because you do a lot of... Because there needs to be more money in mental health and support for people. It's
definitely.
very clear. So when you're applying for grants and applying for support and trying to get it, and you don't get them, it sort of is a cycle of, oh, that's a negative thing you then have to overcome, and there's no money, you need more money. So it could be a negative feedback cycle, but I suppose as your eye or that piece, you can deal with those disappointments and just keep working. Is that part of how this piece works?
Yeah. Yes.
Because you need the money for the people to get good counsellors doing good work in good space with lots of time, good environments, and to be able to reach lots of people. But you're having to try and get the money for it, trying to get so that people can be supported in doing those jobs to support those people. Must be quite disappointing when a grant doesn't come across. Or is it generally supported, or is it supported at 50% or 30% of what you need?
Well, it's quite challenging in the space that I'm in because it's a kaupapa Māori organisation, and majority of our whānau who come through are of Māori descent, and so for a lot of kaupapa Māori organisations, we're used to making the most out of the little peanuts that we do receive from government. So even if there were contracts or if there's funding that doesn't get approved within any kaupapa Māori organisation, one thing that we're really good at doing as a people is supporting each other. So we might not get funding for a certain contract to be able to support within our organisation, but we might have a kaupapa Māori partner organisation who might have the resources to support those whānau. So I think in answering your question on how that must be, what did you say? It must be really dumb when we don't get approved the funding, but we're so used to not having much. Te ao Māori. Like as Māori, we're used to working with less. We don't have a lot.
It sort of makes me want to strike the idea of, no, don't be complacent, government, because they've continued because you've not given enough money over historically.
It's always
Give
been
it up.
that way.
Standard
It's
though.
normal.
Like even with Toitū Te Tiriti and everything that's going on within society, it's the same thing, different day. It's always been going on. It doesn't change, but it'll never stop us from being Māori. It won't stop us from not speaking our language. It won't stop us from going to the marae. We'll still be a beautiful, rich culture that will thrive. And we're used to relying on the resources of sharing resources. Yeah, we're used to sharing resources. We pull together as a people under kotahitanga, unity.
For people who are doing groundwork, like both of you are, how do you see a path to stop focusing on providing mental health support to prevention, because I feel like that's where we want to get, right? You don't want to get people when they really need you. You want to get to the point of we all have access to understand what's going on, so we don't have to go to those dark, complicated spaces. Yeah, it's a bit of a journey, right?
It is a journey, and that's the thing, is that there's more funding provided for adults who are in mental health, but there's not enough funding for children and families that have that are displaying mental health issues. So within the Waikato, we have like a 600 kid wait list. It's ridiculous because we want to get them early to prevent them from having to utilise our adult services, but there's just not enough support.
Yeah.
There's not enough.
Can I circle back to something from right at the beginning with your kaumātua, your koro sort of, when you, how do I phrase this? Within your marae, within your whānau, you each sort of not trained or bred, you're sort of aligned to a pathway. Are there pathways sort of in a Aotearoa scale? Is there someone looking back going, you would be a good person to represent multiple iwi across multiple shared issues? Who's the best person to make the change at the government level is sort of what I'm trying to get. Who's the pathway to push someone to make a difference up above in the clouds? Who's that person? And how does, so it's I'm trying to get out of just the iwi, get out of this little group. Who breaks through to make that difference for all? Because, you know, clearly Te Pāti Māori didn't get the traction it needed. Well, what is that? What do they need? Who do they need? That sort of things. I don't know. It's a big question. I'm not sure how to phrase it.
It is, and because everything within Te Ao Māori is done as a collective. No person can come forward and say that I am the chosen person.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't work like that. So we can't work where there's just one. Because even the way that our tupuna all travelled here was, well, for those who did travel in, it's a waka model. So you need every paddler, everyone that has a job.
Maybe that's the problem, because the other treaty partner operates in the savior, the one that comes, and then how do you do?
Yeah,
you keep expecting
exactly
that, and lose the sense of
collectivism.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just a take. I don't know.
I guess there's no one really at the top. When there is someone, the people will know. I think it's just more trust in the people.
a movement. It's
it's a movement. And so with Te Pāti Māori and what they had done, really, it was just an activation. So it was creating awareness. And we had only just found out the day before, I guess, because it was less than 2 days. So, and they were able to do it that morning. So a lot of people were able to do it before work. And it was just an activation. So this is normally what they do, though. Within Te Ao Māori, it's always, there's a sequence. This is just the beginning. So it's the activation to turn it on. Kia matara, stay alert, whānau. Because
changes are coming.
Changes are coming.
Us directly.
And so that was just a warning. Because from there, it just, it's a pyramid. It just goes up. Yeah, it really does. So for us in our space, we like to hold space and reaffirm just that affirmation to ourselves and our babies that this is about unity and everyone working as one. But it's a kaupapa. It's bigger than us.
It's bigger than all of us.
It's bigger than all of us, but for every part of that branch to play a part in it. But us, and that's even how a marae works. We don't just ask one person. So at every marae, how it works is we don't ask one kaumātua. We've actually got a whole kaumātua council, and they do a lot of hui, all our elders, and that's the generational obligation. So they start succession planning for these. But every marae, that it's always been collective.
Yeah.
It's never one.
It shouldn't be up to. It should be everybody coming together and working together for one common cause. Because when we look at what's happening in Aotearoa with the treaty, Te Tiriti, our ancestors had signed that, and we've all been doing such a great job making steps at coming together as one. And now there's conversations happening that could impact that relationship. And so thinking of those that impact that it could have on our children, all children of Aotearoa, not just Māori tamariki, not just Pākehā tamariki, but what about all the others? What messaging does that send across to them? There's already been instances where a child was told at his school that he's not to speak te reo Māori, and yet that's going right back.
And so now it's tuned the world into a whole nother frequency. I guess it's
so
now created
that vibration.
It's a whole nother vibration.
That's a vibration.
You guys are picking up a lot of vibrations.
So we like to stay on a different.
This is like a harp of frequencies
it's
tonight.
music, frequencies.
It does. It's been connected to everything above, everything below, and everything in between. But sometimes, and we're all naturally connected to everything above, below, and in between. But at times we get so caught up in the concrete jungle and we become disconnected from our environment. And I suppose for Āwhina and I, we are all about vibrational and frequencies because we follow maramataka as well. So,
Maramataka?
Maramataka?
Phases of
the moon. Phases of the moon.
Oh, it sounds like gardening.
Which is
and fishing.
Which from the little that I understand, it would be much better for our well-being because there are days that you're just not in the mood. It's just not the day for it. So you'll be more productive. Is that something
that
like
is
that?
maramataka? It would be a great addition to add into your koro mind.
There you go.
And it really, if you're able to get those moons, it'll tell you great time to go fishing, great time to go diving, planting your veggies, everything. And it's just, about the energies of the moon and how it influences us.
Does it connect more with wahine because of the cycle as well? Yes.
It does. Well, it connects
to
everything and everybody. And because our body is made up of 80-something% of water. And so when we talk about the moon, we're talking about the gravitational pull from the center of the earth that controls the tides, controls the water within us. So you'll notice on a new moon, you're feeling more heavy, more grounded. But then during full moon energy, that's when you usually have king tides, high tides, all the water level within you goes up. So you're more productive, you're more proactive.
And so it's
So low tide tomorrow is about 1:40, 1:50 p.m. That's going to be a very bad, low productive time for everyone in the Coromandel.
Stay in bed. Stay in bed.
Possibly. But
unless you're picking pippies,
there,
cocktails, or you need to get any shellfish.
Yeah, or going for an ice cream.
Or it'll be a great time to be able to gather kina at low tides.
But see, but even, I love this conversation because even the way that we operate, it's all like industrial era, of like productivity and work and the 8 to 5. Like it's completely ignoring nature. Humans will have a different time to be productive and a different time to rest is not what is expected just because of production, right? We're operating with nature. We're not
with our bodies, with nature, with our energy. We're all in tune. We're all connected. Yeah.
Is it something that becomes is a normal thing in the Māori world to learn about?
Not all Māori, so I guess it's exactly the same as te reo Māori. So not all people know about it. It's still educating and teaching people about it. And if you're interested in learning about it, go to the Maramataka Moon, is it? Hine?
Yeah.
A lot of places.
Hine from the north, she has it. Ricky Solomon.
Ricky
Solomon.
Oh.
He's
amazing.
Maramataka talks, it will transform your entire world.
It
is wellness on a whole nother level, but Maramataka is also being mindful of the environment in which you are in, and when you have a better understanding of the environment and the moon, everything above, everything below, then you're able to have a better understanding of yourself and attune yourself to the environment. Once you start following Maramataka and stuff like that.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It does. Or some people like to just follow the sun. Okay, the sun is up.
But that's the thing. I don't know if it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work because we have something that we got given that is
it's
trying to simplify things, but it's not. That's what I said. Like it's constructed on a productivity level when actually it must be much simpler to just listen to nature and feel it because we are nature. So like you say that it's complicated, but again, it's just because we're not used to it.
Got to unplug.
Yeah.
Right? It's just the unlearning process.
I like the Matrix. It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Especially when you're in a rich country like Aotearoa, New Zealand. Then it's easy as
Very
to be
easy.
in the Matrix.
Our
Yeah,
police
but
are
it's-
generally pretty damn good. Our water is clean. Our structures don't normally fall over. I suppose that's fair.
There you
You
go.
definitely live in the Matrix.
Yeah, man.
Yep. So all of this is an illusion, and the whole show, if you're watching at home,
You live in an
the one
illusion.
removed.
But the birds are in tune too, so when it's a full moon, that's when they're the loudest, you know. You could just be in bed and you can hear all the birds, you know, that's full moon energy.
There you go.
Yeah,
Miss-
the
I love
birds
it.
tweet less
I'm
when
learning.
it's a smaller moon.
I'm gonna go get some because I forgot the spoons. I'm gonna go get some spoons so we can have some ice cream. Would you like to tell them?
ice cream.
Would you like to tell them why you don't talk to plants? There you go. That will keep
Okay.
them entertained.
I do
Cactus
not
plants
talk
or
to
what
plants.
Tell us more.
Tell us more.
I was told off for questioning Leo and another guest talking about how you need to be kind to plants and speak beautifully to your plants. So in this room are a couple of cactuses, and if you are unkind to them with your language, if they interpret your tongue clicking, mouth sound vibrations that have been negatively put together, a combination of syllables, apparently it's not good for the plant's growth. So I have vehemently sworn at all of these cactuses. I've cursed them, I've thrown hatred at them and negativity, and they are absolutely thriving, which means these are naughty cactuses that enjoyed it.
Yes, they are. They're wild.
There you go. You've nailed it. Vibrational frequency.
There you go. So apparently
Yeah.
it's a thing. So they love the negativity. So if you want to have a good garden at home, just if you need to swear, don't do it inside at the whānau. Get outside in the garden and just let your garden thrive.
Yes.
I've got raspberries. I should be yelling at them at home. I might be scaring my neighbours. Robin Elaine, if you're watching, you're not. But if you were, shout out your lovely neighbours that are always kind.
Yeah, speaking to my raspberries, it's self-reflection.
Self-reflection.
Although they do prick you, don't they? It's a love-hate relationship.
Yes, it is. Like
Although-
diving for kinners.
Yes,
It's also
it
like
is,
a
but
love,
it's
hate,
worth it.
hate relationship because birds also get in there and they'll jump under the net and they'll steal and you go, I planted these, bird. You get no claim. Or should I be sharing?
Share more.
Share more. It's
I should
amazing.
share more?
It's great.
Oh.
Yes.
Now I see why. No. You're quite disconnected from the tile. You don't have a very good relationship with plants.
No, I do love plants. I just, yeah.
And his garden is beautiful.
Do you have a veggie garden?
Imagine if he would talk to the plants.
Oh,
I do
wow.
I do a veggie garden. It actually all got destroyed by Cyclone Gabriel. So I've just built, from a kit set, a nice macrocarpa garden bed. So we simplified it. I've got beautiful raspberries on one side and an empty garden bed just waiting for something.
Corn.
I'm keen
love
to do
corn.
carrots. I'm keen to do carrots. Corn would be
Carrots.
cool. I'm not sure about the climate here, but
Oh, yeah.
definitely carrots. They're gorgeous. Little ones, or let them grow.
Yes. Love
Are
carrots.
you guys gardeners? Is it
No.
No?
No. Our mother made us garden all the time. We were always gardening. It's like we're gardening the Garden of Eden.
Gosh, it was. Because
Um,
we used to be Jehovah's Witnesses when we were little girls.
So we
You poor
loved
things.
gardening. We loved it.
Thanks.
We love
Appreciate
it.
you.
We love our community. Yeah,
It was a traumatic upbringing.
we didn't even know Santa existed.
Oh, come on.
No. So I guess that's why we're not really into the whole there's Santa coming or something.
That's my favourite season. My Christmas tree arrives tomorrow. Shout out Courtney's Christmas tree farm and decoration barn. They're delivering it to my house tomorrow. I'm allergic to it and I'm still going to put it up.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so what's your plan of attack for that? So you're just not going to be near the tree?
Basically, hazmat suit. It always gets through under a glove, and then you just have a big hive turn up on your arm. But I'll be fine. The things you do for love.
Dear.
It's the spirit. That's the spirit, the Christmas spirit.
It is the season to be jolly.
Yes, it is.
Tis the season to
Now, is this lot of love ice cream here?
Do it, Roberts.
Lot of love. It's just bloody brilliant. Good quality ingredients, dairy free,
It
vegan,
is.
and it's just delicious. There you go. I don't know what else I can say. It's just really good.
It's pretty good, though.
It's
That was
worth
good.
it.
So
And it's local as well.
Yeah, yeah.
100%
local?
local.
Have a check. Check it out.
100% local. So our friend Tanya Arnold, she puts this top and I mean like top ingredients together to make this epic ice cream.
Oh, and there's raspberries in there.
Yeah, so I'm
Real raspberries,
so
not hit by a bird.
Tanya, people pay top dollar to have a review from Āwhina Te-Taima. So we're gonna do it live. Look at this.
Live
Check this out.
review.
We're doing a live
Yeah.
And you got to be honest. Remember,
Plant-based, beautiful goodies stuff. Yeah. Hey man, can I have this one here as well?
We don't have to do another karakia because we did one with our pizzas.
did it
so
before.
this is fine.
So yeah, beautiful. Can you see it here, Taylor? Can you show my camera here? Look at this.
Oh,
Gang.
it's a whole lot of love on one spoon.
ASMR. Look at this. Yummy. Wow. If you go to the Mercury Twin Cinemas, you can get your ice cream. Is it good? Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that face.
It's divine. It's creamy.
Oh my gosh.
It's creamy. I would thought that the
Divine
raspberry would be a
funnel.
bit
It's
chewy,
a-
but it's not. It's very divine. It mounts on your in your mouth so perfectly.
Divine is a good word for ice cream.
It tastes like a whole lot of love.
It tastes like matariki in the mouth.
This one is very dangerous. It's sticky caramel, so I'll leave it here. We can fight for it. We can all go.
Sticky caramel.
Oh man, it's
and
it's,
yet it is still dairy free. The sticky caramel, beautiful use of dates.
yeah, it's very dangerous.
Beautiful.
recipe.
Even the packaging. It's
Yeah.
100% recyclable. Like,
Recyclable,
oh, I
yeah.
love
She's
that.
doing beautiful things.
Great
Tanya.
for the environment.
Shout out.
And there's a good starter conversation because it's nut free, but it's using coconut. So you say, oh, coconut's not a
taste
nut? Whoa, conversation starter.
There you go, team.
Education.
Great.
Coconut.
So I don't remember talking about that last time you were here. Jehovah's Witness is the background. Is the whānau still in the religion? Are they still Jehovah's Witnesses?
Our mother's quite a gypsy, so she liked to travel a lot when we were younger. So although she's born in Taumaranui and travelled through when we were babies. I think we're about 2 years old, 3 maybe, when our mum and father separated. So they've always had a co-parenting relationship, and our mum moved us to Whangarei, and then she became a part of the fellowship. So she was baptised within the Jehovah Witness community in the far north.
Big loves.
Yeah, and big love. Shout out to all our whānau in the Jehovah Witness movement. Great things there through it. We've never had problems growing up. I guess it was just that it was a different upbringing to our friends. So if they ever came over to our house to visit and they wanted us to go to their birthday parties, our mum would tell their parents that we're not allowed to because we're Jehovah Witnesses. So celebrating birthdays isn't a thing, or Christmas. And it just really didn't align. So our mum did leave because it didn't align with our cultural values. So a lot of their cultural beliefs, and I guess it's just I'm not too sure, that's a whole nother whakapapa ancestry on its own, the originations of that movement. But our grandmother and our great grandmothers, they're all women of spirituality and higher power of that give you that hope and faith to carry on in darkness, I guess.
I will say that I'm derisive all the time when it comes to religions, but I completely understand that people, they come to all the good things. They come and find all the good things, the community, the connection, the help and support, the charity you get from so many of the legends growing through the world.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I just get caught up in all the finer details.
Yeah, and there are definitely finer details. For us now, we're morehu. So it's rātana and something that just our cousin does. So it's like, it's...
Moheru?
Morehu.
Morehu.
Yeah, morehu. So it's under rātana, and it's we only have to go there once a month, and it's you take a plate, you take food, and then it's like 20 minutes long, and it's about just acknowledging all of the rātana movement and history of it. And then we have a whakapiki order list where we put in, whakapiki order means to uplift people that are sick or going through troubles and hard times. So every whānau will have names of people, and we always have names of people we want to pray for, and then we get together as a collective, hold that for them, to pray for them, and then we all have a feed, and then we go home, and then we don't see them till the next month.
But like, sorry, I'm just not sure if I got the concept. It's not like a Maori religion. Like, I know that it sounds... Is it like a concept within Maori that involves its own spirituality in the group? Oh,
and so for
that's
us,
new for me.
Yeah, so it's something we never knew. We're very new, so we ask a lot of questions, you know.
Right.
Because we've got a background of Jehovah's Witness and our family.
But it's still rooted in Maori knowledge. It's not like a god, like, no. We're still... Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's always the one like the all creator.
Right.
Creator. And then it's about faith, unity, connecting all together under the light of unity.
It drew a very interesting contrast, like not parallel, but a complete contrast to sort of what happens in North Korea. A lot of the communities in North Korea, when under that horrible regime, you get together and you're obliged to point out all the wrongdoings that different members of your family and community have done. And if you don't come up with enough, then you're not being observant enough.
Oh.
And so it's, this person was eating this food too much. This person crossed the road and this person didn't do their prayers. This person, and they do the whole negative version, which that sounds quite peaceful. You get there and go, here's people who need help. Let's acknowledge them and celebrate them and look after them, give support. That's sort of an interesting parallel. It sounds nice.
So giving the name to that, is it just a way to unify, like to get a collective, to get people together? Because that's my questioning. I'm past the point that I criticize religion. That was a big thing in my life.
We never do.
That.
Yeah, we're past that as well. Outgrowing it.
I don't like, as Fabian said, a lot of the practices and especially very old ways of doing things that are detrimental to people. I feel like that shouldn't exist at all. But like, you're dealing with people's faiths.
They will.
Yeah, but what gets me is like, in a way, you're putting people together, but you're still dividing them from others. So there's a conflict that in my mind, I'm still trying to get. It's the same with flags. It's the same with countries, isn't it? It's the same with groups of people. Like, are we supposed to get to a point that is just people, or it's our nature to group and to be our thing here? Still big part of the thing, but it's our nature to divide ourselves into groups. Like, this is something that is my philosophy of without judgment.
Yeah.
Trying to make sense of that.
So the taller the tree grows, a new community is going to branch out. And we're all just of one big tree, I guess, in that essence. And so that one thing connects us, and you've got each community, but without realizing it, you've got the bush there, then you've got the branches that connect. Those are the bridges. So we've got these communities, and about how do we build these bridges to connect them all together to that one tree so it can grow big and strong.
I think even if you've got separate trees, that's okay too. I think
because the mycelium is connected to them anyway.
It's okay. It's okay.
I was waiting for a forest comment of some sort.
Oh, well, it's a good chat.
When you remove all the water in the world, we're all on one land. We're all connected one way or the
The
other.
vast majority of Earth is rock.
Dropped.
That was
99%.
Genius.
Caramel. And you can find these beautiful ice creams at the Mercury Twin Cinemas, or get in touch with Tanya. A lot of love. Do we have it on the, am I saying it right? It's on Instagram, right? That is the strongest one. A lot of love.
And they have a Facebook page too?
Facebook and Instagram. I'll let you get some first.
Before we hit the caramels, so how do you review it? Is there a score system, or is it simply your audience enjoy the process of watching you eat it and your brief feedback about how creamy it was? Do you then give a score system out of 10, or do you make placards, or?
We don't give them a score system. So we just eat, and then they just know based on our facials, really, if it's worth it. And because we've got a quality market of kings and queens.
I know.
Yeah, we've got kings and queens that actually trust our word. It's a trust. There's a lot of trust, so they know.
Do they look at your face and go, that's a 7. Oh, no,
They know.
No, maybe it's an 8. Are they at home debating what you think of it?
Yeah, because it's written all over our face. You know that song? It's written all over your face. You don't have to say a word. Yeah, that is it.
Keep going.
Yeah. So we don't have we don't even have like a process on how we review food. It's our way of doing everything on our page is whai wairua. So we just follow our instincts.
It's so good.
How is that caramel? Let's see. Oh, look at that face. Oh, kings and queens.
That is gold. Okay, and so this is one of the things our kings and queens like to know. Okay, so how much is it to purchase one? How much is it to purchase a cup of a whole lot of love?
So what's happening right now? That's a good question. So at the moment, Tanya, it's community work for now.
Okay.
She's looking into expanding. She's got a food truck, which is pretty cool. So she's doing a lot of the Coromandel markets.
Yes.
And her plan, obviously, it's expansion.
Okay.
So you can get it locally. You can get it Stoked Deli, and you can get it at the Mercury Twins Cinema in Whitianga. So she will be in the markets, in the Coroglen markets every Sunday and Whitianga markets on Saturdays. But it's our mission. We're working together, and we want to put a lot of love out there.
Absolutely.
In the world.
It's around about that $5 mark. But
yeah.
it's at least 2 scoops. Like if you got individual ice creams, it's cheaper than that.
It's rich. It's a rich ice cream.
It's the quality of it and the cost is unbelievable. So you wouldn't even think.
The people coming to the Coromandel will definitely be able to try it around here. So that's why I'm saying check out on the social media. A lot of love, plant-based. And that's the thing, like she doesn't even say it plant-based because, hey, it's just... It doesn't matter
if it tastes good.
It's delicious. It's the best ice cream I've ever had.
It's super rich. And that's the cool thing because she's getting on the journey of tailoring it, making it, how do you scale those things? And she doesn't want to compromise the quality because that's what happens, right? So
quality is everything.
Yeah, and she's like spot. That's why it's taking the time to be what it is.
Oh, the richness is just so filling on its own. Yeah, it's a treat.
Oh, so yum.
I had her nachos once. They were delicious as well.
Oh, we love nachos.
She does nachos too.
In the food cart, yeah. It's really nice.
Nachos and ice cream.
She's a food cart.
Yeah, so she's got a beautiful little food truck and she sells yummy coffee, like serves beautiful coffee and yummy food as well. So when you come to the Coromandel, make sure to check her out. A lot of love. And also, I must say, our bros from Base Pizzeria, what about that Kai?
We love that Kai.
The pizza was Māori.
There is post ice cream pizza, right? After the ice cream, you then have a follow-up dessert.
More pizza, of course. It's Kai, dessert, more Kai. So we're getting there. Base Pizzeria, base.fiti. That's how you find them on the socials. Our bro, Henry, always supportive of our kaupapa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Blacksmith Lane.
So make sure to check them out when you're coming to Whitianga. The place itself is amazing. They got the video games and they got the posters and the beautiful arts done by our friends JT that did all the artwork and the cover of the Coromine magazine as well, one of them. So make sure to check them out. And Peninsula Motel. How is the motel? All good? Nice.
Shout out to the motel.
Shout out to the motel.
Oh, love the Manaakitanga. Love the Kai. Just
nice. And Taylor, something funny. When I was coming to pick up the girls, James from the Coro Classic just arrived to stay at the Peninsula Motel, so they got all the celebrities. Coolest place in town. Make sure to check them out. peninsulamotel.co.nz. And Altbays and Coromines are collaborating with the Coro Classic Epic Festival coming to Matarangi. I love Sublime. For me, it's hard to say because I'm so happy that our little logo is on the same poster.
Where is it?
We're here. Altbays and Coromines. And we have Mr. Sublime right at the top.
Yes.
And Alchemist and a lot of cool sets coming to Matarangi on the 6th of January. Altbays is giving double tickets, double passes to the show. Our winner this Thursday is Mary Jensen. She scored. Yeah, she went on our live stream. So what we do every Thursday, we drop a question or a comment there, and then the audience replies to it, and then we're gonna give a double pass every week. So stay with us on Thursday, and then we're gonna do another one. Mary scored a one. We're gonna get in touch and make sure to check them out. It's gonna be a cool festival. Altbays is gonna be there. We're gonna have a stand. It's gonna be fun. We're bringing some local artists as well to do some work. It's gonna be very cool. And oh man, talk about Coromine for me.
I was just gonna ask.
I've said enough.
Can I just have the collection? Can you just fan them out? I want all 10 others. So Coromine is awesome. I've been
11.
there from day one. Yeah, the 10 others. Thank you.
10 artists, 11 artists.
10 others. All right, so here, beautiful magazines plus the other 5. I want this collection.
You got 11 in your hand.
It's a beautiful collection.
They are redonkulously cool. The art started all the way back here. This was pretty cool, right?
Very.
And then it just kept
Hannah Coleman
up with
Smith.
the cool.
Oh my god.
Oh, good luck, man. All
Peter
11.
Augustine.
So cool. I'm gonna keep going.
Emma Evangeline Gustafsson.
Yeah, she's great. I saw her at the I see her painting. She's beautiful when she's painting. It's stunning.
Lara Gay.
Oh, that one caused my
love
son.
that.
This one upset my son. He didn't understand it.
A
He
lot of
thought,
people.
What's
It
wrong with
upsets
her?
a lot of people. It's
But
cool.
that's great. Ask
love
questions.
it. It's
JT
great.
Tahatika.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
There's Ooga Booga with a butterfly.
Oh
Remember
my
the 10
gosh,
cents
it's got
that's
Crash Bandicoot vibes.
Yeah, Ooga Booga.
Monique Rush.
Oh, of course it's Monique. Yes, oh, that's beautiful. I love that. If you open it up, you get to see the full version without the Coromine stuff in the way.
Monique
I mean,
Rush. Rachel Olsen.
this is really cool.
This
Yeah,
super popular.
I really
The
love
Wai
this.
Wai? Oh, the Wai Wai.
Very, very, very Kiwiana.
It's real Kiwi.
No mining.
Oh, I love that.
Sorry, back one.
Oh,
back one.
sorry, no, my bad. This was pretty ridiculous.
Dave Fowl.
It's beautiful.
Owner of the Eccentric for years, one of the most iconic venues in the Coromando.
It's got Avatar.
And this one is just fun.
Shane Walker.
There's also a shark head in there as well.
Waihi Beach.
Very, very cool addition.
Sheep
And the
Messaging.
man, Roy
Roy
Mata
Mata.
Taimana.
What a man.
Yeah. One of the most popular co-hosts on the ALTBAYS Show. Amazing artist. People call him the TikTok guy.
One of the most.
Yeah, because
one of them.
you are right at the top there with
Am I?
him. Yeah, man. People love you.
Oh, shucks.
And a lot of people hate you, and that's when you know that it's working.
So
when you got both.
Good balance.
This is issue 11. Issue 12 is in the print with the printers
Can
right
I
now.
say it? Who is the artist or not yet? Well, we actually have the privilege. I would say that it's a privilege for us to have Michael Smither, one of the biggest New Zealand artists, visual artists. Yeah, man, the guy's alive, and he is the. Oh no, I gotta say it. No. I was finishing the quotes. He's the most expensive alive artist in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and he is just massive. And like, he didn't have to, like, we're a small community magazine, but he loves the work that we do, and he's giving this present for us to allow us to have one of his beautiful. Oh, and the coolest thing, something to look forward to. We always ask the artists to do a little write up about themselves, about the art, about whatever. Mr. Michael Smither gave us 2 entries of his journals, so it's actually something very personal of his own diary. He gave us a couple of pages.
Now, young people and visitors to the Coromandel, if you do not know Michael Smithers, he's also the man behind all the Stingray on the beautiful Buffalo Beach Road there. 83, oh, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's 86, on the beachfront there. It's beautiful. Huge artist. You got him for issue 12. That's so cool. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's news to me.
Community magazine, we got some pretty cool voices doing the audio version because accessibility matters. So if you are not in the Coromandel and unfortunately you cannot get hold of a beautiful physical copy like this one, you can still go on coromines.nz, read the whole content, or listen to our audio version. Can you give us a little taste of how the audio version sounds like? Because we have the pleasure to have the voice here with us.
On Point Dance Studio is buzzing as 5 senior ballet students, Millie Lamison, Charlie Thackeray, and Daria Bainbridge Davies, and sisters Courtney and Elizabeth Till prepare for their annual end-of-year show.
Makes you feel like I want to listen to this magazine. Yes! Mr. Roberts, Fabian Roberts, amazing guy on my left, works for CFM as well. Amazing music teacher for the ones who don't know. It's part of the audio version, big supporter of the magazine from the start. And Lana Garland, epic Māori actress. She got famous for many reasons, but a lot of people recognize her from the Food in a Minute. Was that the one that was before like one of the news in New Zealand? I remember that someone saying, "Oh, she's the Food in a Minute." And like, she's way more than that.
I just know her voice.
But she's amazing.
Great voice.
She's incredible. Lana helping us with the audio version. And a lot of the people who write the articles, they like to do their own audio version, which is pretty special for us. So it's a wholesome, community mag. Koromai.nz. If you want to advertise, that's what makes the magazine alive, because it's free. So if you are a business, a cool business, obviously, you can hit us up and support the, of course.
Of course.
Only the cool ones. That's cool. Would you like to ask the girls something else or bring something else to the table? Or would you like to tell us where things are going for you? If you would like to share something now, it's a special time. Let's do it.
Te-Taima.
Do we have anything?
It's good to think. It's good. Take the time. Have a think.
Shit start to the new government. Fair enough to say shit start for new government. Hopefully.
You're a legend.
I knew it was good.
Thank you. You just read our minds.
I knew it.
So pretty shitty start to a government. I cannot look David Seymour's face in the face. I never have. I just can't take the...
How old is David?
Oh, I can't
Is he
take
a
his
90s
smarmy
kid?
face. I cannot look at Winston Peters in the face. Christopher Luxon's a bit of a nobody to me at the moment. But a pretty shitty start to some of the language and communications and disorganisation. Hopefully, when we next chat, it'll be 6 months down the line, you go, oh, thank goodness they boomeranged on some of that stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Is that a nice peaceful turn?
Absolutely, that's the idea. And we're just sending all our blessings and all our ayo to the collective around them. So it's not just the one. We also know that there's a lot of people around them, and we're hoping that that environment is also able to help them, because they're just the face for a whole different environment that work around them as well. So
Got to send the vibrations.
absolutely, of peace, unity, and ayo.
Ooh, is that a nice one? Can you do a harmony? You lay one down and I harmonise with you.
It's like a beat.
Altbays.
Wow, it took a turn.
Altbays.
Ladies, how do we find you on Facebook?
So you can find us on Puka Mata, aka Facebook. So Puka is like Puka Puka, book. Mata face. So
Nice.
Puka Mata Facebook at Āwhina Te-Taima. You can find us on TikTok at Āwhina Te-Taima. And you can also find us on Instagram at Āwhina Te-Taima. And shout out to our people who are going to make our dreams come true, to help support us in our dream to become the best Indigenous food reviewers of the world, to bring united kai to everybody. So, hai o kia koutou katoa. And does Te-Taima want to do a poll or anything?
No, I don't, because I did one last time. I got something in my eye. But anyway, sister, you have to...
Afi, can you blow her eye to time?
I have to blow your eye.
I thought you got something in her.
Yeah, I do, but no, don't blow it.
You're right.
So Taylor, can you just zoom in? Can you just zoom in? Just zoom in on the camera. Altbays.
It's live, baby.
Yeah, I know.
Should we stop?
So live. Off
Is that
my
us?
face, Taylor.
I'm out.
No,
Oh.
she was just telling me.
You have to
Request.
shout out to all of the restaurants that want food.
Oh,
and
okay. Sorry. Sorry, that's the last
stuff. Afi's
one.
the man, right?
I'd like to do a big shout out to a lot of love for the whole lot of love that you gave us tonight. It's matariki in the waha, in the puku. So moriori ki tēnā to our pizza whānau here in
best pizza
Whitianga. The best pizza in all of the Coromandel, of the Hauraki. Shout out to yous for filling us with the fuel for tonight. And also shout out to all our amazing restaurants, Raglan Aroha Sushi, Lunch Bar 88, Rice Baby, all our local restaurants on a roll. We want to shout out to all of yous in our community for supporting us. And yeah. Ai o kia koutou katoa, e mihi ana kia kōrua hoki. Thank yous for having us, and shout out to you, Taylor. Thank yous for having us. E mihi ana.
Thank you so much. What a
What a
special
pleasure.
show. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Roberts, for coming back. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Marketing. It was a pleasure.
We have I'm buzzing because on Thursday we're going to have the rap professor Masbu Q coming to our show with Mr. Swizzle Yeager. How cool is that? Nigerian born, grown up in Aotearoa, just came back from Sydney from a massive tour there. It's going to be fun. We're going to learn heaps. It's a big reason why the guy is called the professor. So you want to learn. You want to be with us on Thursday at 7 p.m. Make sure to check out Core Mind. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And that's us. Ka kite.
Altbays.
Peace.